Plants are the ornamental green carpet of the earth. Plants are essential to establish the balance between nature and life. Plants exist at the basic trophic levels as primary producers of the ecosystem. These primary producers provide basis to all living organisms, and without them there will be no life on this earth. Plants supply life-saving free oxygen in exchange of CO2 and with chlorophyll molecule and sunlight. They manufacture their own food in the form of carbohydrate through the process of photosynthesis. We have no replacement for plants. Plant life begins with the seed germination. When seed germinate, the first leaf appears in the form of cotyledonary leaf. This cotyledonary leaf forms the basis of the future plant. The plant leaves are very important. Their texture, their identity and genetic variation reflect the identity of the plant system. So, let us study structure and function of this important organ of the plant in detail. Leaf is an exogenous expanded lateral green part of the stem or branch which is attached on the node of stem or on the axillary branch. The green color of leaf is due to the presence of the photosynthetic pigment chlorophyll, which helps plants to synthesize organic food in the form of carbohydrate. The leaf develops from the leaf primordium of the shoot apical meristem or shoot apex. The leaf is primarily divided into two main parts: lamina or blade, leaf stalk or petiole. Leaf also has other parts like leaf base, midrib, vein, margin, stipule, axis and tip. The leaf is a lateral appendage of the stem. Leaf is always borne at the node of stem. Generally, there is an axillary bud in the axil of leaf. Origin of leaf is exogenous and it develops from the swollen leaf primordium of the growing shoot apex. The growth of leaf is limited. Protection, absorption of light and synthesis of food are the major functions of leaf. Leaf has many accessory parts such as axillary buds. Axillary buds are the buds which are present in the axis of leaf, blade, lamina, the green broad external expanded part which participate in photosynthesis, petiole, the leaf stalk which connects blade to the stem, tip, the terminal point of the leaf, margin, the edge of the leaf, midrib, the most prominent central vein of the leaf, lateral veins, the secondary veins in the leaf, stipule, the leaf-like appendages at the base of the petiole of some leaves. They may protect the young leaf and may be modified into spines or tendril. The leaves can be classified into 6 types on the basis of their function. They are foliage leaf, cotyledonary leaf, scaly leaf, bract, bracteole and floral leaf. Foliage leaf, they are usually green colored and their main function is manufacturing food via photosynthesis. Cotyledonary leaf, the leaves arise after the seed germination and helps in providing nutrition to the developing seedling until the first true leaf is developed. Scaly leaf, such leaves are usually dry and function for protection. Bract, bracts are the leaves that are present in excess of flowers. Bracteole, bracteoles are small leaf like structure found on pedicel. Floral leaf, floral parts such as sepals, petals, stamens and carpel are modification of true leaves. The leaves can be classified into 3 types on the basis of their duration of existence. They are persistent, deciduous and caducous. Persistent evergreen leaves, such leaves are found in more than one season, for example, pinus. Deciduous leaves, such leaves are shed in different seasons, for example, Agedicta. Caducus, such leaves fall soon after it appear, for example, rose. The leaves can be classified into 3 types depending on their attachment to different parts of the plants. They are colline, ramal and radicle. Colline leaves. When the leaves are directly borne on the node of a stem, then these are called as colline leaves. For example, maize. Ramal leaves. When the leaves are found on branches, then these are called as ramal leaves. For example, Dalbergia. Radical leaves. Such leaves develop from the node of underground stem during favorable season and seems that they are developing from roots. This type of leaves are known as radical leaves. For example, pineapple. The leaves can be classified into 2 types on the basis of the type of lamina. They are simple leaves and compound leaves. A leaf which have single blade and may be incised to any depth but not down to the midrib or petiole. Then this type of leaf is called simple leaf. For example, ficus. A leaf in which the leaf blade is incised up to the midrib or petiole, thus dividing it into several small parts known as leaflets. This type of leaf is known as compound leaf. Compound leaves are further of 2 types, pinnately compound leaf and palmate compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf, in this type of leaf, midrib is known as rachis. Leaflets are arranged on both sides of rachis. For example, name. Pinnate compound leaf are further classified into 4 types. They are unipinnate, bipinnate, tripinnate and decompound. Unipinnate. In this type of leaf, leaflets are directly attached on both sides of the ridges. If the number of leaflets is in even number, then the leaf is known as peripinnate. For example, Cassia fistula. If the number of leaflets are in odd number, then such leaf is called as imperipinnate. For example, rose, neem. Bipinnate. When leaflets themselves are divided into smaller leaflets, such leaves are called as bipinnate. For example, acacia, gulmohar, mimosa. Tripinnate. A thrice pinnate compound leaf is called as tripinnate leaf. For example, moringa. Decompound. A decompound leaf which is more than thrice pinnate is called as decompound leaf. For example, carrot, corynderum. Palmate compound leaf. In this type, the incision of leaf are directed from leaf margin to apex of the petiole, and all leaflets are attached on the upper end of the petiole. Palmate compound leaves are further classified into 5 types: unifoliate, bifoliate, trifoliate, tetrafoliate, multifoliate. Unifoliate. When single leaflet is present, for example, lemon. Bifoliate. When 2 leaflets are present, for example, bohenia. Trifoliate. When 3 leaflets are present, for example, oxalis. Tetrafoliate. When 4 leaflets are attached to the petiole, for example, marsilia. Multifoliate. When more than 4 leaflets are attached to the petiole, then the leaf is called multifoliate palmate compound leaf. For example, silk, cotton, gynandropsis. Leaves are of various shapes. They are acicular, needle-shaped. For example, pine. Linear, long bordered leaf extending along nearly a straight line. For example, Vallisneria. Lanceolate, lens-shaped leaves. For example, Nerium. Falcate, leaves curved like sickle, hooked. For example, Eucalyptus. Acuminate, leaf tapering towards the tip. For example, people. Ariste, bristle-like appendages. For example, arzimone. Cordate, heart-shaped leaves. For example, piper beetle. Obcordate, in the shape of a heart with the pointed end at the base. For example, oxalis. Flabellate, fan-shaped leaf structure. For example, ginkgo. Ovate, oval-shaped leaves. For example, China rose. Obovate, oval-shaped but narrower end at the base. For example, Terminalia. Cuneate, wedge-shaped leaves. For example, Ischia. Elliptic, leaves are like an ellipse. For example, Carissa. Oblong, rectangular leaves. For example, banana. Spatulate, spatula-like leaves. For example, calendula. Rounded, circular shaped leaf. For example, Ficus microcarpa. Reniform, kidney shaped leaf. For example, Indian pennywort. Palmate, palm-like leaf. For example, silk cotton. Lobed, leaf divided in lobes. For example, quercus. The leaves can be classified into two types on the basis of their texture. They are glabrous leaves and gypsum leaves. When the leaves don't have hair and have smooth surface, such leaves are called as glabrous leaves. For example, Ficus elastica. When the leaves have hair and their surface is rough, such leaves are called as gypsum leaves. For example, Datura. On the basis of presence or absence of petiole, the leaf is classified into two types, petiolated and sessile. Petiolated. When the leaf is stalked, that is, if the leaf has petiole, then such leaf is called as petiolated leaf. For example, rose, neem. Sessile. When the leaf has no petiole, then such leaf is called as sessile leaf. For example, Desmodium species. The leaves can be classified into 10 types. They are attenuate when the leaf base is thin, slender, for example, Vitex nigundo. Auriculate when the leaf base have an extra ear-like lobes, for example, wild ginger. Cordate when the leaf base is heart shaped, for example, Circes. Sagittate when the leaf base is shaped like an arrowhead, for example, Phyllotaxy convolvulus. Hastate when the leaf base is triangular like a spear head, for example, Hibiscus laevis. Unequal when the leaf base is divided unequally, for example, lime leaf. Rounded when the leaf has almost circular leaf base, for example, Swida rugosa. Tourniquet when the leaf base ends for example, Quercus laurifolia. Obtuse leaf base having approximately 90 or 180 degree angle, for example, Phyllotaxy japonica. On the basis of margin, the leaves are of 6 types. Entire when the leaf blade is entire and smooth, for example, mango. Lobed when the leaf margin is divided into lobes, for example, quercus. Wavy when the leaf margin is wavy, for example, quercus. Serrate or toothed when the leaf margin is toothed, for example, China rose. Double serrate when the leaf margin is toothed and each tooth is serrated again, for example, Alnus cerulata. Bristle and tipped when the leaf is lobed with hair-like tips, for example, Tilia americana. The arrangement of veins and veinlets in leaves is known as venation. There are two types of venation in leaf, reticulate venation and parallel venation. Reticulate. In this type of venation, the main vein is subdivided into various branches, that is veinlet, and forms a net-like structure. It is confined to dicots, but few dicots plants like Calophyllum and Eryngium are exceptions as they have parallel venation. Reticulate venation is further of two types, unicostate and multicostate. Unicostate venation, it is also called as pinnate venation. In this type of leaves have only one principal vein or midrib, which is subdivided into lateral veins that extend towards margin and to the apex of the leaf. For example, guava multicostate venation. It is also called as palmate venation. In this type of venation, more than one principal vein arises from the tip of the petiole and extend up towards the tip of lamina. It is of two types, multicostate divergent and multicostate convergent. Multicostate divergent, in this type of venation, many principal veins arise from the tip of the petiole which diverge from each other moving towards the margin of the leaf. For example, grape. Multicostate convergent. Here the tip of the petiole has many principal veins arising from it, but the veins at the base remain close to each other, and as they go towards middle part, they get diverged from one another and further they converged at the apex of leaf. For example, Gygifus. Parallel. In this case, the veins run parallel from base to the tip. It is confined to monocots. However, there are exceptions like Colocasia, which show reticulate venation in their leaves. Leaves have certain type of modifications to perform specialized functions. They are leaf tendril. Here, whole leaf gets modified into thin thread-like structure called as tendril. These are climbing organs and help the plant to climb. For example, Lathyrus epheca. Leaflet tendril. When leaflet gets modified into tendril-like structure, it is called as leaflet tendril. For example, Pisum sativum leaf scales. In this case, the leaves become thin, dry and form a membrane or paper-like structure and serve to protect axillary buds in casuarina. Leaf picture. These modifications are interesting ones, as here the leaves of plants like Nepenthes gets modified to pitcher shape. This pitcher is covered with a lid which itself is a modification of leaf blade. The whole organ functions to capture and digest the insects. Leaf bladder. Some plants leaves gets segmented and some of these segments get modified into bladder-like structure with a trap door entrance. These allow aquatic animals to pass in and never allows them to move out of the bladder. For example, Utricularia. Leaf hooks. In some plants, the terminal leaflets gets modified into curved hooks like structure and helps the plant in climbing. For example, Bignonia unguis. Phyllote. In this case, the petiole of the leaf become flat and function as normal leaf. For example, Australian acacia. Fleshy leaves. In few plants, the leaf function as a storage organ. For example, in onion and garlic, the leaves become fleshy and store food. Phyllotaxy. The arrangement of leaves on a stem or branch plays an important role in effective photosynthesis. The leaves are so arranged as to avoid shading one another so that they get maximum amount of sunlight to manufacture food. This arrangement of leaf on stem or branch is termed as phyllotaxy. This arrangement can be of three types: alternate or spiral arrangement. In this case, a single leaf is present on each node, for example, mustard and sunflower. Opposite arrangement. Here the leaves occur in pairs at the node. They may further be placed in two different ways: decussate and superposed. Decussate. Here the leaves stand at right angle to the next upper or lower pair of leaves. For example, the leaves of Calotropis and Muscinda. Superposed. In this case, successive pairs of leaves stand directly over a pair of leaves in the same plane, for example, cedium, whorled or spiral. Another type of arrangement is whorled arrangement. Here, more than two leaves occur at each node, for example, nerium. Leaf is a vital organ of the plant, primarily required for absorption of sunlight for photosynthesis. Leaves are the main site for gaseous exchange through stomata. Leaves also have other functions, and they get modified to special structures like tendrils that help the plant to grow with support. The morphology of leaves, arrangement of leaves and venation show a lot of variation in plants.